Hello, YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. Hope you're all doing quite well. So, alright, every single time this time of year, people always go into the same mode, go into the same witch hunting mode, or in this case, most people go into the same typical mindset. I don't know how the hell this happens, but it's a phenomenon. It's like the freaking polar eclipse, or what the hell they call it thing up in Alaska. I forgot what the hell it's called, the polar something or other. Can't remember. Have a brain fart. Diarrhea everywhere. 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 I told you, it's everywhere. Wipe your eyes, it's getting crazy. So basically, after we're done cleaning the said fecal matter off the side of the walls that just splattered across the room in my house, it's not very good because my walls are whites now. It's all brownish now. It's kind of like freaking... It's like dominoes or Dalmatians on my walls right now. It's 101 shit splatters across my house. Anyway, I digress. I'm not any sort of caffeine rush, by the way. This is actually how I generally think. Just I'm thinking out loud, which is not a good thing. Everything's gonna die everywhere. So anyway, basically this is what's going on right now in the community at large. Now, there's the folks here, generally, specifically, and of course, ironically, underlined, borderlined, and as well as hook, line, and sinkered. General Magnet, or let's call him General Magnus, I'm sorry. Magnus X1. I'm thinking of a totally different YouTuber. Person I also watch who does a lot of commentaries, which are pretty funny. Anyway, back on topic. Basically, Magnus X1. He was talking about how the community at large is at fault by, of course, singular people, people he does not watch, and as well as saying how the community sucks. Now, by default, the community does not really suck at all. If anything, I think because of the community wildering down a little bit, it built something, a stronger connection with most people who are still involved in the community. Myself, personally, I'm pretty happy about that, because I prefer smaller groups anyway. This generally weeds out anything that we would like to call bad vibes, or, of course, too much overbulk. I mean, yes, people go, oh, well, the big community is so huge, it's all these people like Pro Jared and all the... These people are not even involved with this. Pro Jared does his own fucking thing. You know, this guy was a part of Screw Attack. He has his own community he talks to. So it's like, you know what? What the hell? He has nothing to do with us other than the fact we watch him for entertainment purposes, and I respect the fact what he does. He does a good job of his content. Just like the Peanut Butter Gamer, I think he is. Again, he has nothing to do with us. He's a gamer, but he's not a part of this community, this specific element of community. Because there's several communities out there that don't even know we exist, which is, it's an interesting continuum, isn't it not? Say yes. So basically, you look at every single one of these communities out there at large, you say, okay, there's so many of them, what the fuck? That's just it, there's so many of them. So therefore, by default, nothing to do with us. I respect what they do on their end, they probably don't give a shit what we're doing on our end, whatever. You know, but going back onto the topic at large, you basically have folks like Heavy Metal Jesus Rocks, for example, very much into the controversy when it came to his campaign he was trying to raise for. I also think he has a Phaeton. Was it Phaeton? I can't pronounce it correctly. I have dyslexia. I'm being dead serious. Therion, Epion, I don't know. It's a Pokemon name, I think, right? Anyway, basically he's raising or asking money for that, whatever. You know, people want to contribute towards that, I don't see the problem with that whatsoever, whatever. If he does content, people or big mass audience watches it, whatever. When it came to this field trip thing, you know, it's sort of like, my mindset is, by default, whatever. If people want to contribute to it, fine. My personal opinion is that if you want to go on a trip, do it on your own money. I mean, that's my mindset, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, whatever. If he wants to ask for that, that's on him, not on me, not on anybody else. Fine. Scratch his nose, scratch his nose. But basically, you get the point here, right? It's on everyone else but the community itself. The community itself, by default, is just that. The community is not poisoned, it's not segregated, it's not hurt by any regard. You know, as far as watching videos on YouTube, that's your preference. I mean, that has nothing to do with anybody else. I don't think it has to be anything else for anybody else to care about. I mean, I don't watch so many people on YouTube, whoopee. You know, I mean, I don't even barely watch at all. What the hell is his name? The guy, Game Grumps. I don't even really watch that group. Same with Mega64. Same with all these other, I call them quote-unquote premium channels. Or accounts here on YouTube, because that's just kind of how they are at this point. They're just pretty much premium accounts that are just irrelevant to anything we do currently. So therefore, I don't really watch them too much. I like to focus more on a homegrown style of content. I like those more because they just feel more down to earth. I mean, yes, I watch the Angry Video Game Nerd, or Cinemasker as he's labeling his channel, because I like the content that comes out of there. It has a mixture of homegrown content, and it has that little premium mixed in there too, which makes it nice. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's a great kind of cheesy. I enjoy thoroughly. I like to watch it. So, with that bared in mind, I'm going to take my nipples and swing them around like tassels, because I'm leading the charge of saying this much. I think we should think more positive about ourselves in the community rather than sit here and be a bunch of negative Nancy's, because it doesn't solve or help anyone whatsoever. Because you feel like the community's not getting enough exposure because of single people, that's sort of silly too. It's basically, if you be yourself, try to generate your own content, and eventually in the future you get somewhere, you get somewhere. If you don't, you don't, whatever, enjoy what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, just go turn off the camera and just continue playing, enjoying your games vigorously on your said time. But with that bearing in mind, I'm going to flip a table, flip a chair, flip some sort of, flip a hair, flip a weave, flip a pancake, and flip my nipples again, because they need to be flipped daily, because they're like a mattress. You need to flip your nipples daily, folks. If you don't flip your nipples, then they all get all pushed in and shit, and you try to sleep on your own nipples, and they just kind of fall and feel awkward. You feel like you're sleeping in a bowl, and you have to flip over the mattress to get some volume back into it. But your nipples need that too, because if you don't flip your nipples, you get the point. You get the point. They're like little swords, or little, I'm not going to say swords, that's kind of like hardcore. My nipples aren't that big. Actually, they're kind of plump, though. But basically, they're like shields on your body. They protect your body at all times. If you don't have your nipples out and protecting them, and protecting your body, you're screwed. God, it sounds like I'm on cocaine or something. But anyway, take it easy, folks. See you later.